So the bottom half is a raspberry. Wrong. Hey, I'm back again. Okay, this time I'm making raspberry banana soap. I've made this one before. I think if you can go back a few years, I was in the process of moving into this workshop, into this workspace from my old one. I was making soap at home and I think I made this in my kitchen. So there is an old video of it. So it's a two-tone, two-layer soap. So the bottom half is raspberry and the top half is banana. And there's a cocoa line and like a crooked line is how I've made this one. So I'm just about to cut it. But I will show you the process of me making this. The bottom half thickened up. I'm using a fragrance, again, which thickens fast, and I haven't used it in soap before. And it moved super quick, but it's fine. I got it in the mould okay. I'll just have to remember for next time, because this is a popular soap. This sold out really, really fast the last time I made it. So I just need to remember that that is the case. So yeah, let's get to making it and you can see the process. And then I will come back and we will talk about, oh, let's have a guess. Okay, let's start to mix our lye into our oils. So the way I'm making this is 2 scents that I'm using, or actually there's 3, but the raspberry I'm doing separate to the banana, so it's not sort of blended together. So the base of the soap will be raspberry and the top will be banana, but the blend is not made into a blend, it's just that we'll do raspberry first and banana on the top. So you've got 2 separate scents. Okay, just going to stick blend with my new Kenwood stick blender. This is the same as the old one I had, except for the base is now, they've made them 30% larger, so wider. So yeah, loving this. And I like it better than my KitchenAid. Okay, so I'm just going to turn down the sound, give you a little music while I stick blend this up. Okie dokie. So, let's cut it and have a little chat. I know lots of you like my chatty videos, so I'm going to try and bring them bring them back a bit and just sort of mix it up a bit from time to time. So, this one, let's get it cut. So, as you can probably guess, I will have been watching the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp court battle. Although I don't know if we can call it a battle at this point anymore, because it all doesn't look very good for what's her face at the moment. That's nice, isn't it? It's sort of like a cartoon. So yeah, I never knew who Amber Heard was until this whole kerfuffle came about. I'd never heard of her before, and I'd never watched Aquaman. That's not the sort of film that I would be interested in. So I had no idea. I don't know what other film she's been in, other than now I know she was in The Rum Diary, which is where all this sorry mess started. So yeah, I had no idea who she was. But I've done a little research, as you do, and found out quite a lot. So I guess you could say that I went into this with bias, because always having been a Johnny Depp fan, a fan of his movies. He's probably, how old is he? He's sort of more my age group, I guess. He's about the same age as my eldest sister. So I grew up watching Johnny Depp movies, and I've always loved his demeanour, the way that he held himself. You kind of, you can work people out. It's not that difficult, even though they're stars. I mean, you'll never know what their lives are really like, because you're not a, mega star of the world, although, I am. Yeah, you'd never have any idea how they really, live. It's film. You'd never know. But you can kind of tell from interviews. He was quite a shy sort of a type, I would imagine. Certainly not one to be brash and over the top, just have a sip of coffee. Lovely. Okay, so yeah, I'd formed an opinion, I suppose, about this sorry thing in the beginning, but you never know, why have I got the wrong cutter? Hold on. You never know what a person's capable of, but I just couldn't see that this thing was a thing, it was a bit like, really, after all this time? It's been like years of watching this guy in movies, years of watching interviews, never once has an accusation come up until this girl's on the scene. So, yeah, I never believed a word from the start, and I certainly don't believe a word now. It's, and that's an awful thing to say, because this is, supposed domestic abuse. So, my opinion is, no, I don't believe that it's happened to her, and I think she's really shot herself in the foot, and I think at the end of all of it, even if Johnny Depp wins this case for defamation, which I think he actually is going to, there's still no winners because of what's happened to both of them. It's just a mess. It always takes two. Every relationship takes two, and people make mistakes. But I just don't buy the whole domestic abuse thing. I think maybe, they were both verbally offensive towards one another, but I do think she liked to use her fists. And, that's a really horrible thing, whether it's a man or a woman. But just, yeah, the way it's been twisted around, it's kind of evil, really, isn't it? So yeah, yesterday I watched the first half of the cross-examination with old Camille. It was great, and I shouldn't say, but I thoroughly enjoyed seeing her tear her to pieces, really, because it's not been very nice to watch a person get thrown under the bus for something that they didn't do. I truly believe he didn't do the things that she's claimed he's done, because, one, there's no evidence, and two, track record, And yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, why would an actor of his ilk then put themselves through so much of this, put themselves through so much pain, if it were true that he had abused her? I mean, you just wouldn't do that. The guy's trying to clear his name after she's dragged it through the mud, and I think that if, you know, looking at Johnny Depp and who he is, and I think you wouldn't go this far, you wouldn't take it this far if you were guilty. You just wouldn't. So I think that's why he's doing it. It's like he's got to grab something back from this whole sorry situation, and his integrity and his credibility. That's all she cared about was her own, and I mean, it looks like she's lost that now. It's a shame. And I think he said something like that along those lines. It's like, I didn't want to do this because I didn't want to do this to her and her career. Because really, she's messed it up for herself, thinking, really believing that she was going to get away with this. Oh dear, it's just a mess. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what the truth is. I don't think any of us really do, but it's not that hard to decipher. Anyway, these are kind of cool. It's not hard to decipher what's going on there. It's weird. I was just thinking about the age gap as well, like his age group. I mean, I've grown up with people his age all my life, and you know, that generation, there's just a way of behaving, and when you mix that with what is she? I guess she is a millennial. It's not a good match. So Generation X mixing with the millennial, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I could well be. I mean, there's probably some relationships that are great, and I have relationships with millennials who I love to pieces and who are worldly wise, but there's some, and in the same sort of realm as what Amber Heard would be, I dare say that is just not a match made in heaven, you know, because of the behaviour. It's, yeah, very different upbringing, different way of life, different way of being, as we all grew up through our 20s and 30s. So, yeah, it's just a bloody sorry mess, but I'm enjoying watching it. As sick as that is, I'm enjoying watching it, and just really watching how clever the attorneys are and how they don't miss a blooming trick, do they? So yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's been giving me quite a lot to listen to at work. Other than that, I've been watching a ton of Netflix stuff. I watched one really good one I really loved was The Missing, and that's a British drama, and there's 2 series that I watched, and the second one just, oh my god, it blew it out of the water. The first one was great, but the second one, I just absolutely loved it. So yeah, The Missing was really good. Another one I watched was Paranoid. That was really good too. So yeah, I've watched a ton. The next video I'll kind of try and do a list, so I can give you a list of the things that I've watched I've really enjoyed, because there's been so many. Before this trial came up as something to watch on YouTube, I was just one after the other on Netflix. There were just so many dramas that I'd not watched. So I will make a list and give you the list. You can check them out. Anyway, so yes, I did have an opinion on this case. Sorry if you don't agree with me. It's you know, we can all agree to disagree if you don't agree with what I think, and that's perfectly fine. We don't need a battle in the comments, thank you very much. But yeah, it's yeah, not a very nice situation, is it, at the moment? And not good for all concerned, to be honest. Anywho, I will be back. The next one I'm making is The Warrior, which is a nice sort of frankincense and spices and fruity sort of affair, but spiced fruits, not fruity fruits. Okie doke, I will be back for that one shortly. Ta-ta.